From the Daily Reporter, this is Ethan Duran. Welcome to Brews and Blueprints, a podcast about construction and development across Wisconsin. Hi, I'm Ethan Duran with the Brews and Blueprints podcast, and I'm here with Dave Walsh, Executive Vice President of Human Resources at Myron Construction. Dave was hired in 2012 as Vice President of Leadership and Organizational Development and carried 20 years of law enforcement before that, serving as the police chief of the city of Appleton, where he lives. We're going to learn more about Dave's background, his role, and how Myron pushes forward to encourage new people to try construction and addressing issues such as mental health. In 2022, Walsh was named Daily Reporter Servant of the Year. Thanks for being on the show, Dave.
Excited to be here, Ethan. Thank you.
Not a problem. To start, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and about Myron Construction?
Sure. You did a nice job of introducing me. I've been in here, 13 years now. Started doing leadership and organizational development, and now I'm over all of the human resources efforts. Myron is a proud union general contractor, headquartered in Wisconsin, in Neenah, Wisconsin. We've got 7 satellite offices. We're building from coast to coast, literally. So we're probably do just under $2 billion worth of work. We've got about, 450 people in the office and another 1,200 people, give or take, in the field at any one time.
That's a lot of people to watch over.
It is a lot of people.
What is the overview on the work culture of Myron? How do you distinguish yourself from other general contractors?
So we like to think the phrase we use when we tell people during interviews when they ask that question is we're a work hard, play hard company. So for sure we work hard, and I will tell you, our folks, be they out in the field, be they project managers, be they estimators, be they project accountants, document control administrators, we work them hard. We ask a lot of them. But we also then try and find ways to socialize and be present with each other, to play, to gather for team building events, to celebratory meals, that sort of thing. So I really think work hard, play hard is a good descriptor of Myron in general.
For work hard, play hard, has that always been part of company culture, or is that something more recently developed within the last decade or 5 years or so?
Oh, that's a company culture thing for sure. We're family owned, and our owners are still very invested in the company, very part of the daily operations of the company. So you'll find our owners be some of the very first people who show up at the door in the morning and some of the last people that turn off the lights at night. So they're not golfing down in Florida. They're actively here every day, and they sort of set the tone. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? So our owners work really hard. We work really hard to keep up with them. Because my friends and colleagues are working hard, I want to stay with them and not let them down. So I work hard. But then at the same token, the owners are also um, present for the team building and the social events and the play part. They want to know our families. They want to celebrate the wins. So for sure, that is part of the embedded Myron DNA. That's not a new thing. That's just who we've been for over 100 years.
I read from your profile on your website, you like this phrase in Latin, cura personalis. And can you tell me a little more about what that phrase means to you?
Sure. Care personalis means care of the person or care of the whole person. I went to Loyola University. My dad was a professor at Loyola University, and that's one of the phrases the Jesuits used to talk about caring for people. So I teach a leadership class here, and that's the basis for that leadership class is at the end of the day, the leaders should care about the people that they lead and work with. So that's an important part of and guides all of my actions. It guides how I train and ask leaders to be. And I really do believe that's part of how Myron operates is that care of the person, care of personnel. I just think it's a cool phrase.
Tell me how that helps your job and help you apply your skills to, again, caring for so many different employees.
So for me, care personalis is sort of a deeper dive, right? So the way I care for people is I get to know them. So I want to know who works for us. And if we're gonna say I care about you, I better know you. I better know your name. I better know something about you. I better be invested in your success, and root for you to do well. So for me, care personalities personally means I have to know the people, and encourage my colleagues to know their folks as well. I think that's an important part for any leader, but that's how care personalis resonates with me, and it's how it guides my daily efforts here.
One thing that's big in construction right now, and I just looked over a statistic for this. There's a labor shortage going on, no surprise to anyone, and I know the industry is looking into, new demographics to help fill in the gap, take on the tools of the trade, and keep the industry going forward. I know one of the events this year, and one of the things that's this ties in with, 11% of the construction workforce is made up of women now, which is something that has been growing over the years, but hasn't been like that the last 30 years or before that or so. But Myron encourages this, with events like Build Like a Girl, an annual event to encourage young women to consider construction careers. Dave, were you involved in the creation of this event, or can you tell me what was sort of the inspiration for it?
Well, I was certainly there at its inception. Our executive vice president of marketing and culture, Jen Bauer, saw something online somewhere about this happening somewhere in the South, Build Like a Girl. And they didn't call it Build Like a Girl, something about girls in construction. Brought it back, and I just thought it was brilliant. I couldn't tell you the exact statistic in the industry, but I can tell you, Myron, it's less than 5% of our professional craftspeople are female. So that is an untapped resource. And I laugh because we live in Wisconsin. We have DUP of Michigan and Iowa, and there's some really strong, resilient women in there that could do great in the construction field if we could just get them to understand what it's like, to encourage them, to give them a chance to experience it. So our first year, we did. We invited, girls. It's girls 7th, 8th, ninth, and 10th grade, so middle school and early high school, and we give them the chance to build. We let them build a masonry wall, put together a carpentry project, to pour concrete, to operate a crane and a boom lift. Those are all things that are foreign to a lot of folks. It'd be foreign to me, but foreign especially in this world to our female population. And we do it in a place that's safe, right? We have female mentors, female craftspeople as mentors. And then we have the ability to do that in a safe place where it's just a bunch of your colleagues, your female colleagues. And I think they feel safe exploring, and trying it out. It's a great event. Oh, is it a great event? It's so much fun. But the real goal there is to increase the number of women in our professional craftspeople ranks.
How is that goal being met right now? Are you seeing a lot of success?
We've certainly had to, and we always tell the success story. Our first real hire out of Build Like a Girl wasn't in the field. It was for a virtual construction specialist, so somebody who deals with BIM modeling and building information modeling. But that's also part of the day. So I still take credit for it, right? I think it was an important part. Uh, but as the time comes on now, we'll see in the next few years as we do construction youth apprenticeships, and we have a very dynamic education engagement manager who's encouraging youth apprenticeships. I think you'll see more and more of the girls who are part of it, like a girl, transition to be youth apprentices and then registered apprentices when the time is right. So it'll be interesting to see these next few years how that works.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if you have more. You mentioned bid management. I know that's more of a design role. How many more people come in from that angle compared to old school apprenticeship trades?
Yeah, for us, virtual construction and BIM, we don't do design in house, but we do a lot of supporting our field professionals with it. So a lot of coordination, scheduling, sequence and duration, planning, that sort of thing. So it really is pretty closely tied to our field professionals. So again, it's exciting to see women in that role leading those sequence and duration meetings, that sort of thing. It's kind of exciting.
I stand corrected. Well, the next big issue I want to talk about, mental health in the industry. I think this might be an old number, but construction is one of the five work sectors that have the highest suicide rates in the American workforce. Um, you know, Can you tell me about Myron's mental health initiatives and the impact mental health has on the industry? And, how does the company help address that type of issue?
Sure, that's a pretty wide-ranging topic, so forgive me if I go into some depth on it. But, I don't know, a couple of years ago, our culture team, which is a bunch of the people who care for the people here, so our wellness coordinator, our leadership and life coach, our learning and development manager, our communications and culture manager, me and our, the woman I mentioned before, Jen Bauer, the executive vice president of marketing and culture, we formed the culture team. Excuse me, and the culture team sat down and said, "We really think mental health is under taken care of here, under cared for, Myron." And so we've made it our single priority. Now there's other things we do, but it was our single most important priority. Meredith, especially Meredith Bachek, our wellness coordinator, has taken this on, and so the first thing we did is we were to do question, persuade, refer, QPR training, which is basically dealing with suicide awareness and suicide response. And we trained, scores and now hundreds of people in KPR training. Meredith got, certified as a trainer, and has done it, both field folks, office staff, and then some of the office staff, family has asked to be trained in it as well. So that's the first thing is making sure our folks have the tools if someone has, suicidal ideation, which is a big deal, right? An important thing. But then we also, Meredith set up what we call a mental health hub. So if you go to the Myron Construction website and you go under About Us, you'll see a mental health hub. It's this public page that has all of these resources on mental health counseling, both for union and non-union folks, on QPR and other suicide awareness things. It's a great resource, and it's free for anybody. Now, of course, we hope our folks are aware of it and their families are aware of it. But the mental health hub is just this fantastic thing that Meredith did in coordination with our marketing people. We do a stand down every September with construction suicide awareness. We do a stand down where we ask our and give guidance, but ask our field leaders to talk about mental health and to remind people of the resources that exist. The big thing we've done, Ethan, is to give voice to the fact that we recognize suicide's a huge issue in our society, but it's a huge issue in construction. But mental health in general is just this important thing that we don't talk about. Construction's this rough and tumble industry where we don't talk about our feelings and where crying isn't allowed and all these parts and pieces. We're trying to remove that stigma and say, hey, listen, we're regular people like anybody else, and we're going to give you some of the tools you need in order to feel mentally well.
I'm sure that probably works hand in hand with getting more women in the industry if you're getting away from more male dominated culture, as you sort of described.
Yeah, I would hope that, women in the industry are great for many reasons, right? The different ways they think, the creativity they bring, but also I think a sensitivity to, feelings and so forth. But I hope we can convince the men. I don't know about you, Ethan, but I have a lot of feelings inside me. I'm not always great at expressing them, but I have a lot of feelings inside me, and I want our men to be comfortable doing that just because it's a mentally healthy thing to do. But yes, I think having women, again, on many levels is just a an added plus to any project site.
That's smart. Yeah, opening a dialogue. I think it's always welcome, always encouraged. I also wanted to say congrats on being the gold certified Fox Cities employee friendly workplace. Now, what does this accolade mean to you and how did your organization achieve it?
Yeah, that's a pretty exciting thing for us, and I'm very proud of that. I'll tell you what it says to me is that we're trying to find benefits and policies that support, employee well-being, employee health, and employee happiness. They call it employee friendly, so okay, but I call it, taking care of our folks. So some of that is the policies we have. So we have a flexible workplace policy. We have a remote work policy. We have a generous paid time off policy, careful policies about family medical leave. We've just updated our bereavement policy. All these parts and pieces that say, hey, listen, we recognize that you need the ability to be away from work or to have a different way to do your work and that sort of thing. I think that's been really good. I think having a wellness coordinator, certainly that does the mental health pieces, which is critical, but also that does personal exercise plans that will help you with nutrition planning. That is a good sounding board. Meter is very helpful. Our leadership and life coach, Eric Barkle, to have a person on staff who is meant to just help you with your growth, your dreams, your life needs. Eric's a certified professional coach, so knows what he's doing, but is also this great resource for people, and people of all levels of the organization have used Eric. I think the fact that we have a culture team that makes efforts to address these issues early on to try and be ahead of the curve on some of these human resources related cura personalis issues. I think all of those things came together to say, hey, listen, we recognize you're trying to take care of your folks. And that comes right from the ownership. The ownership truly does care about the people they hire. They truly, and they tell this to people during interviews, when we hire somebody, we want to hire them for life. We want them to be a brand new Myron employee, a middle-aged Myron employee, and then when you're ready to retire, we hope you're still wearing a Myron jersey. We just invest in our folks that much. We're careful in who we hire. So that leaks down from the ownership to the rest of the company, saying people are important. We care about our folks. And that's why we do all those what they call employee-friendly things. We call it just taking care of our people.
So we've talked a lot about the culture at Myron Construction, and want to pose a question like this. How do you see that reflected in the actual work done in the projects Myron takes on, or maybe how they're built? How do you see it play out in the field?
So on the back of every Myron T-shirt are three letters: S, Q, and P. Safety, quality, and production. And so we encourage our folks to be safe. We encourage them to do quality work, and then we get more production out of them. I would argue that safety and quality, we could probably add, it's kind of a cool phrase, so we're not going to do this, but we could probably add cura personalis to the back of that shirt. If you're safe, if you do high quality and you take care of your people, production will just flow naturally out of that. I think a happy worker is a productive worker. I think a worker who feels valued, who feels like they matter, is a worker that will come in and do excellent work for us. And that's what we're looking for. Remember, I told you at the beginning, a rising tide lifts all boats. We're not looking for the mediocre performer. We're looking for excellent performers. But to be an excellent performer, I think you have to be well cared for by your folks. And I think you have to feel like you matter. I look at a lot of people talk about all the external gifts and prizes and money and bonus, and we do all of that. But I don't think that's what gets our folks to come to work every day. I think really it's the internal, the intrinsic motivation that gets our folks to do well and to be prideful of working from Iron. And what is that? That's saying they're doing work that matters to the company. They're doing work that they feel that they're good at, and that work gets noticed and appreciated. If we can show people those three things, I think the sky's the limit for what we can build, how big we can get, and how well we can do it.
I'm sure it's certainly part of what gets you coast to coast with a construction company based in Neenah. Well, Dave, I'm at the end of my questions here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about or anything to mention while we're recording?
No, Ethan, I think those are great questions. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss Myron. I'm very proud to work here. I'm super proud of the people that work at Myron. I'm super proud of trying to be one of the people who gets to care for them and make sure that they feel like they matter. So I appreciate any opportunity to talk about it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. And we'll see if the Cura Personalis phrase ends up on some Myron t shirts in the future.
Perfect. Thanks, Ethan.
All right. Take care.